Good morning. It's Saturday, and I'm at the local coffee shop. And what I have in front of me now is my John Walsh Unhinged page. It's an alternate page from my regular Facebook site. I put this up to relieve some of my friends on my other page of listening to my political rants. I got some subtle hints that my political ramblings were not necessarily what they wanted to view on my page, so I figured, what the heck, I'll just put up another page, and those who wish to follow me can, and those who just want the pablum can go to my other page. But at any rate, I come up in the morning, and usually before I start my real work, which is my web business, I build websites, I make videos for local businesses, I do fan pages for local businesses, and I do SEO work and pretty much any type of internet marketing they are interested in. I do most of it myself. I do outsource some of it if it's beyond my capabilities. For instance, graphics are not my specialty, so sometimes I'll outsource the graphics. If it's pretty basic graphics, I can do them myself. At any rate, enough about my business. So I come up, and usually I open my regular page or my John Walsh Unhinged page. Today it's the Unhinged page, and I go to the home page to see what my friends have been talking about, see if there's anything to get me unhinged, ranting and raving. It doesn't usually take me too long. Oh, let's see, this is something from Steve Otaka. Steve is he's about as unhinged as I am, probably in some cases a little worse, but I shouldn't say worse, but he's a little more opinionated than I am sometimes, which people say I'm out there. Check out Steve. Seems like a good guy though, and he's pretty honest as far as I can see. At any rate, Steve was commenting on a link that he had from a friend of his. Apparently two black women beat up a white woman in a McDonald's and then got a seizure. So I gotta read the whole story. It looks like upon it being assaulted, maybe the white woman was picked up a seizure. At any rate, I suppose this is just the norm, the world we live in today. Civility is at a premium, and it's unfortunate because it's not the world I grew up in. It's probably not the world you grew up in. What's frustrating to people like me is that most people seem to go about their day and don't even notice it. They don't notice the lack of civility. They don't notice the rudeness, the vulgar speech that our young people use. And I guess they would probably refer to me as an old fogey. In some respects I am. I'm not a young man anymore, but I certainly don't feel old either. I long for the days when people were civil to each other, and I don't know if we'll ever see that again. Brenda Dreyer is another one who's very opinionated, and Brenda will tell you how the cow ate the cabbage, okay? She doesn't pull any punches, and that's why I friended her. I like her no BS attitude. She calls a spade, and is my pal Leslie Ware. Leslie's a really nice lady, and Leslie's a patriot. She pro-military. I believe her husband served in the military and made a career out, as a matter of fact, so naturally you would expect her to be pro-military, but she's also a patriot regardless of her affiliation with the military, and she's also a pretty funny lady, and I like reading her stuff. Her and a friend of mine, Kathy Renzi, who's a former flight attendant friend of mine, and her and Leslie, I believe, from what I can gather from their messages, are in a consignment business, either together or they're compatriots in some way. I know that, and they're definitely partners in crime socially. So, and they're a lot of fun to follow, and I like them both. Bill Bry is a real patriot and a very interesting guy, and probably of all the people I follow, I think that Bill probably knows more about the Constitution and the freedom movement than anyone else, and I never miss, or try not to miss, any of Bill's posts because I've learned quite a bit from him, and he makes me laugh also. Sometimes when he's not even trying to be funny, he reports the absurdity with such a fresh outlook, and he can be about as subtle as a sidewalk brick, which is the type of commentary and humor that I enjoy. But Bill's always interesting to follow, and he comes up with many thought-provoking posts. So I'm a big Michael Savage fan, so Michael's a talk radio host, and Michael, again, he doesn't pull any punches. He tells it like it is. I like people like that. There's enough phonies in the world. Vast majority of them walking around in public today are phonies. It's refreshing when you run into people who are honest, don't play the political correctness game. And at any rate, keep going down the list here. There's a lot of Bill Bry, there's a lot of Leslie Ware, because they post quite a bit. And that's fine with me because I enjoy like I say, I enjoy reading their stuff. And you see a lot of John Walsh Unhinged. I can post with the best of them. We got Michael Savage again. There's Kathy Renzi. Karen Wolf is a very politically oriented lady. She's a big GOP supporter and has worked on many campaigns, mostly in the Rhode Island area, but is very supportive of GOP candidates throughout the country. Really nice lady. Also a flight attendant. Unfortunately, I don't believe I ever worked with Karen. In fact, I'm certain I haven't, because I certainly would have remembered her. She's very kind, very caring person, and very interesting lady. Very knowledgeable about sports. Like I said, she's been involved in politics since she was a kid, and I think probably, if I had to predict, she's still a very young woman. I'm guessing she's in her mid to late 30s maybe, and I'm guessing that someday politics will be her career. I know she likes her job as a flight attendant. However, and not to demean the position, I was a flight attendant for 25 years, and I have very fond memories and great friends, and I loved the job. I really did. I enjoyed all it had to offer. But again, I think Karen is destined for bigger and better things in politics. I also throw in some health and wealth sites that I like to follow. Warren Roach is another guy who tells it like it is. I enjoy following his stuff. And Samantha Vance is my niece, my grandniece, my niece Suzanne's kids, and she has 3 children, Samantha, Daniel, and Ricky. It's Tommy Mason. Tommy's a pilot for U.S. Airways, an old friend. Nancy Phillips Estes is another one who tells it like it is, very politically oriented. Sherry and Frank Tachi, good people, both work for U.S. Air. I have a lot of airline friends, as Facebook friends as well, and many great memories of them, and I enjoy, now that I'm no longer with the airlines, I retired a few years back, and I enjoy following their exploits. Many of them travel the international route now, and they do Rome, Dublin, Paris, Germany, you name it, they're there. Luxembourg, the whole bit. So it's very interesting to follow them, and they're interesting people anyway. Smart people. great insights, put up some great pictures, so I like following them as well. There's Leslie again. Leslie's always got something going. Joey Voices, of course, many of you may know him. He's a terrific talent. Joey, I don't know how many people he imitates. It's got to be in over 20. And he can sing like Elvis, Louis Armstrong. Oh God, you name the singer, he can mimic him, and he's terrific. Let me just click on Joey's page and bring up a little about him, his info. He's an interesting guy and a really nice fellow. He's a Christian fellow, and he's also politically oriented, and just a really nice human being. I like him a lot, and I enjoy following his stuff. So if you want to go to Joey's page and maybe even friend him and definitely take in one of his shows. I was hoping I could bring up some of his stuff, but I'm having problems finding it, so maybe I'll get back to that and show you what he does. But his stuff is really good. Here's his website now, and to give a little idea of Joey is. He's got his very patriotic guy and funny guy. I mean, Joey doing his impressions. He's an impressionist. He sings. I mean, this guy is the real deal, folks. He can do it all. I'm shocked that he's not appearing in Vegas every night, but he does the local scene here, mostly on the North Shore, it seems to me. Montrose, I think it's the Montrose Plaza or Montfield Plaza, I apologize. And he does a lot of the local nightclubs along the Route 1 area as well. If you go on joeyvoices.com, you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. I think you'll really enjoy his stuff. And like I say, he's a real good guy. And so basically, I got a lot more people than that up. Paula Porton's big in the Republican Party. She'll put up interesting stuff, and I like following her as well. So basically, I like reading about these folks because they put up stuff that I may miss or may have missed, and I'm able to keep current. And this is just my first video to promote my page on John Walsh Unhinged, to give you an idea of the type of stuff I'll be talking about and some of the material I look for in the morning. I go to many blogs and sites I'm a big Ayn Rand fan. As a matter of fact, hope to see the movie Atlas Shrugged next week, hopefully, if I get some time, but that's on my list of things to do. I've read the book, of course, as well as Fountainhead. Ayn Rand was a terrific individual. She was an objectivist, probably too cold for most of my friends on my normal site, but I think people on my John Walsh Unhinged site would really enjoy her, and my friends on my other site would as well if they took the time. Some of them may have even read her stuff in college, but at any rate, this is episode 1. Probably end up putting this up. It's not real polished. I'll be doing more in-depth talks on the politics of the day and generally ranting and raving about what I do. So this is my regular site, and that's just basic. I try to put up basic stuff. I will put up an occasional political things, but for the most part, this is just a site. Everything's very slow here on the internet today, by the way. This is just a site I use to, I'm a big Celtic fan. I like to put up my Celtic stuff. Recently lost a friend of mine, former friend at U.S. Airways, David Rissinger, who's a heck of a nice guy. I worked with David many, many times, and a very kind man, and he will be missed. A young man, I think he was probably, I don't know, I'm guessing early to mid-50s, and certainly way too young to succumb to cancer. But that's what happened. It seems to be happening more and more today. Young people dying of cancer. I've always felt it's a combination of things, but foods we eat, the air we breathe, the environment we live in today. But I primarily blame it on the diet that most people eat today. I could be way off base, but that's just my opinion. I read a lot of nutritional stuff, and Patty O'Neill, an old friend, flight attendant, good lady. Anyway, I post stuff on my personal site that is calm enough not to infuriate or offend any of my friends. And there's a picture of my daughter Caitlin and the newest member of our clan, Molly. Molly is a Yorkie Bichon mix. Beautiful little puppy. I love her to death, just like I love my daughter. I love my daughter a little more, but I'll tell you, Molly's a damn close second. But at any rate, that's all for today, and I hope you'll come back and visit again. And guess we'll sign off now, and thanks for joining me.